How do you think we benefited from all that space exploration stuff?
Well, I think there were a lot of scientific advances that happened because we went into all that.
I think we probably learned a lot of technology that we don't see, or think about every day.
Yeah, we both did. We both did with that phone there. She watches her cartoons on there. She watches shows in Spanish. She learns sign language.
That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
In July 1969, in a spacecraft with less computing power than found in a smartphone, American astronauts reached, landed, and walked on the moon. The journey to get there had taken less than a decade, driven by a goal set in 1961 by President Kennedy and implemented by NASA, the Federal Space Agency. Today, most people believe America benefited from this great adventure and the innovation needed to get there. But few realize that 3 Delaware companies had already done much of this research and development, including DuPont.
In 1902, one of the things that they started was a research and development program. So you start the experimental station here in Wilmington to do completely theoretical work. But that's a hallmark of their program is you can go in and think up these things. So the discovery of things like nylon, that's not something they set out to do. That ended up being something they happened into and figured out a way to use it.
Beginning in 1958, NASA, the newly established space agency, quickly took advantage of the results of DuPont's half-century of applied innovation.
Putting so much focus into research and development, they come up with a whole variety of products and then a whole variety of ways to use products that they have. So that well-situated DuPont, when it came time to interact with an agency like NASA.
NASA was already competing with the Soviets in the space race when Kennedy announced the goal of a manned moon landing before the end of the decade. Given the ambitious time frame and the science and innovation required, the agency knew it had to consider using as many existing materials as possible.
So this product gets thrown into NASA. NASA says, well, we can use this up to a point. Is there a way that we can make it better? We think this is a good product, and then DuPont can take it from there.
Other NASA partners relied on existing DuPont materials as well, including ILC Dover, who used 20 different DuPont fabrics to make the Apollo spacesuits.
All those things that were in the materials of the suit had already been out there, but it was used for different purposes, so we were able to bring it together to make it all work. And it wasn't many years before the suits, we designed the suits, that these materials came on the market.
But DuPont fabrics were in more than the suits. They were also used throughout the spacecraft, even protecting it from dirt and dust, first here on Earth and later on the moon.
So some of the products that get used specifically in the space program are things like nylon, things like neoprene, Nomex, later Kevlar.
Without the innovative materials already developed by companies like DuPont, NASA could not have reached the moon within President Kennedy's time frame. So while America's space program is often credited as the innovative source for much of today's technology, it's important to acknowledge the prior history of innovation found within NASA's corporate partners, which provided a fertile foundation for Apollo 11's timely success.
The public-private partnership is something that's incredibly important for large-scale projects like NASA going to space, going to the moon. From a business technological history standpoint, is something that is well worth remembering and well worth looking into.